I still can't believe I'm writing this. 5 years of my life. 5 years of double shifts at Starbucks mornings and the hospital lab evenings. 5 years of saying no to Coachella, to weekend trips to Vegas, to the new iPhone every year. All so I could save up for med school. My dream since I was 10 years old, watching Grey's Anatomy with my mom on our lumpy couch. Last week, I was sitting at my computer, ready to pay the deposit for Columbia's medical program. I'd gotten in. Actually, gotten in! I remember screaming so loud when I got the acceptance email that our neighbor pounded on the ceiling with a broom. I was going to be Dr. Sophia Martinez. It didn't even feel real. I logged into my Bank of America savings account, the one I'd named Future Dr. M, and my heart literally stopped. The balance was $212.47, not $78,236.82, just gone. I checked my transaction history and saw multiple withdrawals over the past month, all to cryptocurrency exchanges, all authorized under my account. I called Ethan immediately. He lives with me in our downtown loft. Well, technically my loft that he moved into last year because his place was too far from his office. Funny how we had no problem paying $14 for Ubers every day until we started dating. Hey babe, what's up? He answered all casual, like he hadn't just stolen my entire future. My savings account is empty. There are transfers to something called Binance and Crypto.com. My voice was shaking. Did you do this? He laughed. Actually, laughed. Oh, that. Yeah, I was going to surprise you. I've been watching this altcoin called Lunar Coin. It's going to explode any day now. Like, we're talking 10x returns minimum. I couldn't breathe. You took my money without asking me? Borrowed, he corrected. I'm going to put it all back, plus a nice bonus. You should be thanking me, honestly. That money was just sitting there losing value to inflation. I wanted to scream, but somehow kept it together. Ethan, that was my med school money. I need to pay the deposit next week. Relax. You're being so dramatic. The market's about to pump. Trust me, I do this for a living. He doesn't, by the way. He's a glorified sales bro at a tech startup that sells software to banks. He just watches a lot of crypto YouTubers and thinks he's Warren Buffett. I told him to transfer the money back immediately. He promised he would, in a few days when the market peaked. I wish I'd forced the issue right then. Fast forward 3 months. Lunar Coin crashed, then the whole crypto market crashed. My money? Gone. All of it. When I confronted Ethan again, he had the audacity to say, "This is just temporary, babe. Diamond hands, hodling is the way." Then he showed me some stupid meme of a dog wearing sunglasses riding a rocket to the moon. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just nodded and said I needed some air. That's when I called my best friend Jennifer, who works as a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley. He did what? She practically screamed into the phone. Sophia, that's illegal. That's straight up theft. And that's when it clicked. This wasn't just a relationship problem. This was a legal one. And I wasn't going to let Ethan get away with stealing my future. So I smiled and set a trap. A quiet, careful trap. Updated. Jennifer came over the next day with a bottle of Tito's and her laptop. Ethan was at some crypto meetup downtown, probably commiserating with other bros who lost their girlfriend's money. Okay, she said, pouring us both generous shots. First, we document everything. Screenshots of your account history, texts where he admits taking the money, everything. I pulled up my banking app and showed her the withdrawals. He used my laptop when his was updating and must have seen my password manager. I never gave him permission to access my accounts. That's identity theft, Jennifer said, taking notes. And wire fraud since he transferred your funds without authorization. We spent hours collecting evidence. I even found emails he'd sent himself from my computer with my account numbers and passwords. The more we found, the colder I felt. This wasn't a mistake or a bad investment. This was calculated. So what now? Police? I asked. Jennifer shook her head. Eventually, maybe, but I have a better idea. What's the name of Ethan's company again? Tech Finance Solutions, I said. He's always bragging about how his boss, Marcus Taylor, is this huge deal in the financial tech world. Marcus Taylor? The Marcus Taylor? Jennifer's eyes went wide. Sophia, he's like legendary for his ethical approach to fintech. He's built his whole reputation on transparency and security. And that's when our plans started to take shape. The next day, I acted completely normal around Ethan. I even brought him his favorite cold brew from La Colombe and asked about his investment strategy with wide, innocent eyes. Babe, it's all about patience, he explained smugly. The weak hands are selling now, but the smart money knows this is when you buy more. So you're buying more? I asked. Well, I would if I had more capital. Maybe we could tap into your emergency fund. It's just sitting there doing nothing. I wanted to throw the coffee in his face, but instead I nodded thoughtfully. Tell me more about how this all works. I want to understand. For the next 2 weeks, I played the perfect supportive girlfriend. I asked questions about crypto, recorded our conversations on my phone. New York is a one-party consent state, thank goodness, and watched as he dug himself deeper. See, I actually did you a favor, he said during one recorded conversation. That money was just going to go to some overpriced school anyway. This way, we might 10x it if you'd just be patient. Meanwhile, Jennifer had worked her magic and secured me a meeting with none other than Marcus Taylor himself. She had interned under him years ago and still had his contact info. He's interested in hearing about this situation, she told me over lunch at Sweet Green, especially since Ethan works in their security division. The irony wasn't lost on me. The meeting with Marcus was at a quiet coffee shop in Tribeca. He was nothing like I expected. No power suit, just jeans and a simple button-up. But his eyes were sharp as he reviewed the evidence we'd compiled. This is troubling, he said finally. Not just the theft, but the breach of trust. Tech finance specifically prohibits employees from unauthorized access to financial accounts, even partners. It's in our ethics code. I'm not trying to ruin Ethan's life, I explained. I just need my money back. That was my med school fund. Marcus nodded slowly. Columbia, right? Jennifer mentioned it. I sit on their business school advisory board. My heart jumped a little. Was this a stroke of luck? Ms. Martinez? Marcus? Continued. What Ethan did is grounds for immediate termination, but firing him doesn't get your money back. I know, I said, trying not to sound defeated. However, he continued, we've been looking to expand our healthcare division. Someone with medical knowledge and an understanding of financial security. Breaches would be valuable. I blinked. Are you offering me a job? An internship to start. Paid, of course, with potential for growth. And with access to our employee education program, which covers up to $40,000 a year in tuition. I nearly choked on my latte. That's generous. It's business, Marcus corrected. Talent acquisition. The fact that it solves your immediate problem is convenient timing. By the time I got home, I'd signed preliminary paperwork for a position at Tech Finance that would start in 2 weeks, with a salary almost double what I was making at Starbucks and the lab combined. The tuition program wouldn't cover everything, but it was a start. And the best part? I'd be working 3 levels above Ethan in the organizational chart. When I walked in, Ethan was on the couch playing Call of Duty. He barely looked up. Hey, I've got some awesome news, I said, keeping my voice even. Did Lunar Coin finally pump? He asked, eyes still on the screen. No, even better. I got offered a job at Tech Finance. That got his attention. His controller dropped. What? How? Jennifer has connections, I said with a shrug. Apparently they need someone with medical background for their healthcare division. Ethan's face went through about 5 emotions in 3 seconds. That's my company. I know, isn't it great? We can commute together. What position? He asked carefully. Healthcare security analyst. I start in 2 weeks. His face paled. That's higher than my position. I feigned surprise. Is it? Wow, I didn't realize. Anyway, I'm going to take a shower. It's been a long day. As I walked to the bathroom, I heard him frantically dialing someone on his phone. I smiled to myself. Phase 1 complete. The next day, Ethan was suspiciously nice. Too nice. He brought me flowers and suggested we go to that expensive sushi place I love, but he always complains is overpriced raw fish. Over $18 sake, he casually said, so, about that job, are you sure that's what you want? The corporate world can be so soul-crushing, not like helping people as a doctor. Well, I sighed. Since my med school money is gone, I have to be practical. This job pays well and has education benefits. I might be able to save up again in a few years. The guilt on his face was almost worth the $78,000. Almost. About that, he mumbled. I feel really bad about the investment not working out, but crypto is so volatile, you know? No one could have predicted the crash. Literally, every financial advisor predicted it, I said, keeping my tone light. But hey, water under the bridge, right? He nodded eagerly, relief washing over his face. He thought he was off the hook. Little did he know I was just getting started. Updated. My first day at Tech Finance was surreal. The office took up 3 floors of a sleek glass tower in Midtown, with views of Central Park from the break rooms. I had my own desk with a nameplate, Sophia Martinez, Healthcare Security Analyst. It felt like I'd stepped into someone else's life. Ethan had offered to show me around, but Jennifer's friend Aisha from HR had already volunteered to be my onboarding buddy. Aisha was fantastic. She showed me the ropes, introduced me to key People, and most importantly, kept Ethan at a distance. Your boyfriend's been asking a lot of questions about your role, she mentioned casually as we grabbed coffee from the fancy machine that made everything from espressos to chai lattes. Just so you know, I nodded. We're keeping work and home separate. Aisha gave me a knowing look. Smart woman. My first week was a whirlwind of training sessions and meetings. I didn't see much of Ethan, which was perfect. I was too busy learning the systems and meeting my team to worry about him. But I knew he was worried about me. At home, things were strained. Ethan kept asking about my work, who I'd met, what projects I was assigned to. I kept my answers vague, which clearly drove him crazy. So have you met Marcus yet? He asked one evening, trying to sound casual. Marcus? Oh, you mean Mr. Taylor? Yeah, he stops by our team meetings sometimes. I didn't mention that Marcus and I had a standing weekly coffee to discuss my special project. Ethan's face twitched. He never comes to our floor. I shrugged. Maybe the healthcare division is a priority right now. 2 weeks in, Marcus called me to his office. His corner suite made my desk look like a closet, but he had the same approachable demeanor as in the coffee shop. How are you settling in, Sophia? Really well, actually. I'm surprised how much I enjoy the work. He nodded. Your team lead says you've already identified 2 potential security vulnerabilities in our healthcare portal. Impressive. Just applying? Basic logic, I said, but I couldn't help feeling proud. Now, Marcus leaned forward. About our other project? Are you ready to move to phase 2? I nodded. We had carefully documented every aspect of what Ethan had done. The unauthorized access, the transfers, the recorded conversations where he admitted taking my money without permission. All of it compiled in a secure file. I've spoken with legal, Marcus said. You have options. We could pursue criminal charges. No, I interrupted. That's not what I want. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Revenge isn't your style? Justice is my style, I corrected, but destroying his life won't bring my money back. Fair enough. So what do you propose? I laid out my plan. It was simple, really. Ethan would be transferred to the new cross-departmental team I was heading, a project combining healthcare security with the investment division. He would report directly to me. And through a series of structured bonuses and innovation awards, I would gradually recoup my losses. Marcus listened carefully, then nodded slowly. Elegant. Not technically punishment, just reorganization. And the company benefits from both your talents. Exactly, I said. Plus, Ethan gets to keep his job, which is more than he deserves. There's just one more thing, Marcus said, pulling out a folder. Columbia called. Apparently, they're very interested in keeping you in their program. Heart skipped. What? It seems they've created a new scholarship for emerging professionals in healthcare technology. It would cover half your tuition, with deferred admission for fall of next year. The rest could be covered by our education benefits. I stared at him. That's not a real scholarship, is it? Marcus shrugged. It is now. Consider it Tech Finance's investment in future talent. And perhaps a small apology for what our employee did. He slid the folder across the desk. The paperwork's all there. If you're interested. I was speechless. My dream wasn't dead after all. The next morning, company-wide emails announced 2 things: the formation of the new cross-departmental team headed by Sophia Martinez, and the inaugural recipient of the Tech Finance Future Medical Innovators Scholarship, also Sophia Martinez. Ethan's face when he read those emails was priceless. I watched from across the office as he frantically clicked through the announcements, then looked up to find me watching him. I gave a small wave and returned to my work. Later that day, he cornered me in the break room. What the hell is going on? He hissed. Suddenly you're running a team? My team? And you got a scholarship? I poured oat milk into my coffee calmly. Isn't it great? Now I can go to med school after all, even without my savings. His eyes narrowed. Did you tell Marcus about the money? Is that what this is about? About what? I asked innocently. My qualifications for the position? Or the scholarship that recognizes emerging talent? You know what I mean, he said, his voice dropping lower. Are you trying to get me fired? I looked him straight in the eyes. If I wanted you fired, Ethan, you'd be gone already. The transfer paperwork is on my desk. You start on my team Monday. The color drained from his face. You can't be my boss. We're dating. Are we? I asked. Because partners don't steal from each other. They don't take someone's dreams and gamble them away without permission. I kept my voice even. Professional. But don't worry. I'm not going to fire you. I'm going to make sure you earn back every cent you took from me. I walked away, leaving him standing there with his mouth open. Over the next 2 months, I ran my team with meticulous efficiency. Ethan, to his credit, worked hard. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was guilt, maybe it was the fact that every performance review and bonus recommendation came from me. I assigned him projects that used his strengths but kept him under close supervision. At home, things were chilly. We were essentially roommates now, barely speaking beyond logistics. He'd asked once if I was planning to break up with him. "Do you want me to?" I'd replied. He didn't have an answer for that. The system worked. Between my salary, the quarterly bonuses I made sure Ethan qualified for, which he transferred directly to me as rent, and the scholarship, I was building my future again. I'd even started taking night classes to prepare for med school the following year. One evening, I came home late from class to find Ethan sitting at the kitchen counter with takeout from my favorite Thai place. "I thought you might be hungry," he said awkwardly. I nodded and sat down. We ate in silence for a while before he spoke again. "I really messed up, didn't I?" I put down my fork. "Yes, you did." "I thought I was helping," he said, though we both knew that was a lie. "I never meant to hurt you." "But you did," I said simply. "You took my choice away. You decided what to do with my future without even asking me." He nodded, staring at his pad thai. "I'm sorry, really truly sorry." I believed him, surprisingly. But it didn't change anything. "I've been looking at apartments," he said finally. I think it's time I moved out." I nodded. "That's probably best. Can I ask you something?" His voice was small. "Was any of it real? Or was this whole job thing just about getting your money back?" I considered the question carefully. The job offer was about the money, yes, but everything I've done since then has been real. The work, the team, my performance, that's all me. I'm good at this, Ethan. Really good. "I know," he said with a sad smile. "Everyone says you're the best analyst they've ever had." We finished our dinner in silence, and for the first time in months, I felt a weight lifting. Not forgiveness exactly, but closure approaching. The next day at work, Ethan submitted his 2 weeks' notice, not to spite me, but because he'd gotten an offer at another company. A fresh start for him, too. That evening, I received an email from Columbia Medical School confirming my deferred enrollment for the fall semester. I was really going to be a doctor after all. I looked around my apartment, and smiled. It had been a hell of a year, but somehow I'd come out ahead. I'd turned betrayal into opportunity, hurt into growth, and most importantly, I'd learned what I was capable of when pushed to the edge. Final update. Ethan moved out last weekend. He took only what was truly his, leaving my apartment feeling strangely empty, but somehow bigger. He returned his key without drama and wished me luck with med school. "You're going to be an amazing doctor," he said at the door. "I'm sorry I almost took that from you." I just nodded and closed the door behind him. The following Monday, Jennifer and I celebrated at that swanky rooftop bar near Bryant Park. No, the one with those fancy $24 cocktails that taste like they were made by an actual wizard. I wore a new dress I'd bought with my latest bonus and toasted to new beginnings. "To Dr. Martinez," Jennifer said, clinking her glass against mine. "Not yet," I laughed, "but soon. And to the badass who didn't let some crypto bro derail her future." We watched the sunset over the Manhattan skyline, and I felt this strange mixture of gratitude and pride. Not just for getting my money back or securing my spot at Columbia, but for discovering a strength in myself I never knew I had. Sometimes the worst things that happen to us reveal the best parts of who we are. And sometimes, the quietest revenge is simply rebuilding your life, brick by brick, better than before. P.S. I heard through company gossip that Ethan's new position pays 30% less than his tech finance salary. Karma really is that girl. Winking face.